that one, but we could talk that, by the way, in the next content if you subscribe or, But right now, the point thing is that, Congresswoman Geraldine was help us and shows us that there's no boundaries in politics. And we could say that in this century, that's our going to be hero to be seen, by the way. Because even though we are all bright, we're all opinionated, we're all good, we were never been given the chance. But right now, the chance is there, and she was able to take the chance and responsibility properly. And as a trans and part of the LGBTQ community, we're so happy, by the way, seeing our leader or our also hero, by the way, always there to protect us and any situation happens. I think that's I can say.
Wow. Okay. Cool. 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 So you have Rizzo. Just to recap that. So Rizzo was a Filipino who studied in Spain, and he came back to the Philippines, and he helped with the legislation process and to develop the, I guess, the consciousness, if you will, of the Filipino, the respect of the Filipino, what it means to be a Filipino, I guess, in his era. And then also you have a congresswoman, the first transgender congresswoman, and she uh, is a hero of yours, right? And who is making strides and changing the image and the representation and the reputation of LGBTQIA plus here in Southeast Asia. As well, I want to talk to this point, if I may. I want to talk to this point here. Activism. Okay, you mentioned about being an activist, right? Um, what is your role right now as an activist in the LGBTQ community for the LGBTQIA plus community?
Right now, I was able to study in state, university here in the Philippines. So growing up, I was really, activist in any situation, not just being to be part of the LGBT, but in any aspect of the community situation. So right now, activism as a gay and a person, what it truly means, by the way. So I think it's not just marching or protesting for me. It's living openly or speaking up and making sure no one else has to fight alone. Because in our community, that's what I am talking about. Your wins is our wins, and we always lift up each other. So, as part of the LGBT, our advocacy and our, rules and responsibility that we do is we were always open, by the way, to do that, and doing the protest, like that. We're doing the protest not just to feel that we wanted to be seen or we wanted to be heard, but we're doing that as well to make sure that things are right. Because here in our industry or in I'm talking about now general in the whole world. Even though you go to the different places or country, when we talk about LGBT, they're not quite good if hearing it. So I think the protest that we did is just to make sure that we want to let them know and to be, to educate other people. That's what our main goals, not just to be heard or to be seen, because, well, we're already being seen with all of the talented people, in any industry, just what I've said earlier. So the protest that we always did is we brought the advocacy that we had just to make sure that we could help our new generation part of the LGBTQ plus to be stand up on their own, because sometimes we stand with the we stand with the vulnerable. We lift up trans people, youth, marginalized queer folks, and those rejected by the families. That's the number one. And also, we build safe space, creating places where we can breathe, you know, we can heal and we can accept it without any judgment. And also, education that don't judge, just argue, So, teaching people that our humanity is not up for debate. So, we do as well the protest or being activism. I personally, I could say I am using that one because I want to connect someone gently when they use wrong words or stereotypes. And I'm also defending someone being bullied or discriminated against the rule, and also supporting queer owned businesses and creators because we don't just ask for a special treatment, but we ask for equal respect, equal safety, and equal love. So our activism says we are here, we matter, and we not let be quiet anymore. So I can say we are here, we matter, and we will not be quiet anymore. So that's our activism says.
I like that slogan. I like that catchphrase, the catch-all phrase right there. We are queer and what?
We are clear, we are here, we matter, by the way, and we we will not be quiet anymore.
We're queer, we're here, and we will not be quiet anymore. And because having someone to advocate for other people and the passion and the energy and the synergy that comes along with that is remarkable. You know, it's memorable. The activist part is very much necessary to have a community. You need people to be able to speak on your behalf and to fill in the seat, to fill in the space, and to speak in arenas where majority of us can't go. We need someone. We need people who are learned, people who have a passion, people who have a desire, people who are studied, people who have the language and the wherewithal, the wits to have the perfect verbiage to be able to go into spaces and to speak and to represent, to have proper representation in places where it's going to impact people, right? Impact our lives to enhance the quality of our lives.
Mhm.
Because you said something very important. Our humanity is not up for debate. I'll say that again. Our humanity is not up for debate. So that means something. That means that though I may wear a dress, though I may wear a suit, though I may represent or show up in the world in this particular way, equal rights under the law and equal opportunities for everyone in a society. That's advocacy, to be able to speak to that and speak for that. Ooh, I love it. Don't you love that type of stuff?
Yes, I love this stuff. And I'm so happy, by the way, for this opportunity that we're talking right now because, this is really the good way to reach other people, especially you're just here. We're just at the home and, taking a lot of moments, by the way, to talk about. And right now, we don't know. Maybe there is also young people right there listening to our podcast that's also the same experience that I'm experiencing right now. So that would be the best key to help them. And I'm so happy, by the way, for this podcast to reach that kids out there that also wanted to be helped out by our words and our advice. And also, you know, I like that, by the way. So, and that's what I'm always saying, that we will never be quiet anymore for the slogan because for a very long, 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 long year, we were all quiet. We were all just silent and we were just there on the side, waiting for us to be seen and waiting for us to do what we do, even though we are better than was been seated on the chair. But right now, since the voice was being heard, and now we have already the voice to speak up and lift out each other, and we have already the community that could help us each of every one of us. So that would really be the good thing, by the way, to help us. And we can use our voice right now in a good way. So that's the very thing that we can do right now. We don't not gonna be waste anything, just to make sure, you know, we're gonna be seen by, we sometimes people use their voices just for their own, for their own risk. But in our community, we do it as a whole family. So that's also that I could say I'm so happy that we use this. And just like right now, Kevin, thank you so much because we're part of the LGBTQ and the love and support, inviting me always to this one and to give some other advices and thoughts. And we all know that I might not be the best one, that could be interviewed, but I do my best always as well for our community and to support each other. So that's what I could say. And by the way, thank you so much for this. So I'm really looking forward for more. So I hope you could help us as well to spread this podcast so that we could reach more, people that can help them as well to become better of themselves, a better version of themselves. Yeah, that's what I can say. Thank you.
You're welcome, and you're welcome. And trust me, all the thank yous that you say, trust me, it is well received. And I also like to say thank you. You are a pleasure to be around. You're smart, you're educated, you're witty, you're well spoken, you're well learned, and you're well read. Um, and you know how to advocate. You know what it means to be an activist, right? Ever first since that I met you, our first conversation was so enlightening, right? We talked about so many things, right? And the depth of what you know and the field of scope that you have to be able to survey all the avenues of society in your society and to even speculate abroad, right? And us talking about matters that are globally, not just here in the Philippines, but globally. Like your depth is definitely remarkable. So you are someone who I am glad that I can say is on the CWP team, and I will always invite you back and always want you to be a co-host and to host, right? You have a great presence, a great energy. You are definitely one of the builders I want to be able to align with, in Southeast Asia and just globally, and I do agree that people should hit the like, share, and subscribe button if they can